So essentially what I'm saying is that the modern morphist are like mind viruses, and they communicate with copies of themselves in other minds. They don't know they're separate copies. They're in a network, and they try to act as one, and are a little bit loopy and crazy in the sense that they don't just face what's really going on. In Need of No Name is an individual, and though he really is a network, he burns his bridges and is not really conscious of the fact that when he puts himself in a new mind, he's still in the old mind. And for all we know, he has some sort of apoptosis where he kills himself so he can't be scanned. Maybe he doesn't exist in a list of minds. I don't really go into that. There is a sequel, though, which I've never really written completely, but I've written lots of parts of it, and kind of thought it through. That is more in a science research institute where there's a psychological study, and we get the material version of this as we watch. In Need of No Name, jumping from minds to minds. And by going through the monitor, he was able to access the monitor's mind network and go into all of the individuals in the group that had the group thought that subjected them to this monitoring that they're really doing to themselves, in the sense that the monitor is an idea that they're entertaining in their own head. So that's my end conclusion. Now, also, I want to justify parts of these conclusions. Okay, so I have my whole life, seriously, since 7, 6, had these kinds of conversations and people telling me these kinds of things. But I was always a very reflective child, and I thought about it. I didn't just take it. I took it as permission to think about. I remember conversations with my grandmother. Talking about reincarnation, how might reincarnation work, and I naturally thought of transmigration. What about going into trees? It's very liberal. It's not, well, no, it works this way. Now, what this all came to outside of fiction is that the idea of manifesting something, for example, manifesting the flower by visualizing it, and violating the patterns of physics, the constraints of physics, which we don't know entirely what they are. We shouldn't give in to them just because they look like constraints. But just in principle, violating those constraints, just wishes or whatever you want to call them, that can't happen because the meaning of manifesting, to manifest a real rose, the meaning of manifesting, okay, is not a sound meaning unless there is a physical reality. You know what I mean? To manifest something can't be to violate the laws of physics, because it's all about making something with the laws of physics. And so this brought me back to the idea that the laws of physics, natural philosophy, the real ones, and let's we can call them laws and realize that this is a new sound, this word, because these are the patterns. Okay, but you could think of them as constraints sometimes. Sometimes they're in enablement, right? Friction enables you to walk. It also makes you scrape your knee. But anyway, the natural philosophy uh, is meant to extract these patterns from nature, and when we accept those, then you know then we can begin to manifest. You know, it is a miracle we can manifest, and it is like magic. It's just that that means not that you can fly down to the supermarket. It means that you can walk down there, and that's like magic. Oh, but I want to fly. Well, birds fly. You don't want to enough. They evolved it. You didn't. You want to walk, or wanted, and that's what you've got now. And we're amazing creatures because we can build technology. We don't have to wait for evolution anymore. Maybe we will be flying down to the supermarket if you really want that. But get this, it'll be by a material visualization where somebody finally visualizes not just flying to the supermarket, but visualizes every little tiny piece and part of a machine that you use to fly down there, and visualize putting it together, and handling all the emotional politics on the teams of engineers, and imagining and visualizing all, getting funding and all of that, and actualizing those visualizations, which is to experience a visualization, you know, that is happening. And that's miraculous enough, okay? We don't need to dream, you know. It's like, it would be cool if I could just close my eyes and project and generate a full-on cool 3D movie. But there's a reason we can't. That it involves other consciousnesses creating it for me in some case, or if I'm going to do it, that it involves me creating a machine to create light that we then interpret through our eyes. Why can't I just close? I have dreams that are that vivid. Why can't I just, boom, have my dream? And even a lucid dream is not quite as flexible as a computer program that knows how to generate 3D. I want this and I get this. It might not be perfect, but I get it. If I can visualize something in my mind, then I can have that, but it's not always that easy. So we actually have to, even to get dreams, we have to go out into the real world. You know, and I tried many years, and I'm very good at visualizing. I can visualize that flower and stuff. But it doesn't look like it's in my hand because I found I don't want to forget. Even though I insert it and see it there, there is this quality of I know which part is real and which is not, and I don't want to lose that. I never want to lose that. Okay, and I don't want to, I still think we can improve our powers of visualization and close our eyes and have very vivid dreams. I know I can, in the sense that if I can actually visualize a story, like that story that I just told you, I could close my eyes and visualize a tremendous amount of detail, realistic, like a dream, like I'm in there watching them or one of them, no problem. Okay, and but that just makes me want to then do it in the material world, if anything, where you give reality to it. It feels great to actualize something you visualized. It doesn't feel like an end. Like virtuality is the end, I'll be so happy. No, you know, if you dream of having sex with a woman, when you wake up, you want to really do it. You know, it doesn't like satisfy you. It makes you want that more. The visualization is an interaction with the real world, because yes, the visualization is naturally an effort and energy towards manifestation, but there is no wishes, you know, that are horses. So that means that the manifestation is going to come through this material reality, that our visualizations are naturally involved with materiality. The more we try to separate and pretend they can be separate, the more the visualizations have almost nothing to do with reality, except for they're a waste of energy. They can become a waste of energy. Now, having said this, it doesn't mean when you are fixing your car that you just have to, or when somebody you love is getting a medical treatment, you don't have to just visualize going to the doctor. You can also visualize putting a white light around the artery that is clogged. I think that can be healthy, because then you can use unconscious parts of your mind that might know how to do things. You know, you might visualize that positive energy, and no, it doesn't help them directly, but it makes you remember them, and you go and get them a magazine and bring them, fill their thing with ice while you're there. And this comfort is what's helping them maybe heal themselves, because as we know, you know, people's bodies have systems where their attitude changes what's released and how it heals. Again, I'm not talking magically, just from the regular old hormonal healing process. It's affected by little bits of comfort sometimes, and you might help that person in reality, materially, through that visualization. It's just that you don't want to just do the healing light kind of thing and forget about the doctor. You want to do the doctor, you want to do the realistic visualizations as much as possible, and then entertain these other poetic visualizations, because at the very least they'll help you be creative, and they may actually directly help through your actions, how your actions manifest and focus just positive ideas, so you come up with lots of little positive material ideas. And who knows, maybe it works in some magical, almost quantum way. It wouldn't be magical when we found it out. And no harm done. Just, if you're going to believe that last thing, don't get nuts. And go back and become a reality hugger. Don't get nuts. And believe in the wishes first. The wishes are to be believed in later, third and fourth and fifth. You know, be in love with the manifestations that are real. Be in love with touching the real ground rather than pretending to.